Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Yellowjackets, Season 3, Episode...
7.
7.
Croak.
Whew. We're really in it now. The plot is moving.
Mm-hmm. Pour one out, I guess.
Yeah. It seems that the creature is the North Canadian banshee frog or something.
The Arctic banshee frog.
The Arctic banshee frog.
I looked it up. Every single article for 3 pages of Google was about Yellowjackets. So I'm betting it's a fake frog.
I think they probably created something for
I'm
the
sure
show.
it's like inspired by a real frog, but...
How do you feel about that?
I kind of love it, actually. And I like even more love that they were not bird watchers, that they were there for something else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't have loved if Van had said bird watchers and then they were bird watchers, but it was like after she said bird watchers is when she was like about to say something else, and that's when it clicked for her last week about who would be using that recording device. So I appreciated that it was something different. And also, like, what on earth would bird watchers be doing? They are so far from anything. Also, if it's an Arctic frog, if that's the term that's being used, they are even farther north than I thought they were. They're way the hell up there.
I'm fine with it. I think I like it. It's I'm a little disappointed because I think I did want something supernatural, but I know that if they did it, I'd probably hate it. And I'd probably be like, no.
Something is still happening. Something still seems like it's happening. And whether or not it's just a group psychosis or there's something more to it, we know that Lottie is schizophrenic. That is why she is the way she is. But, like, they have all joined in on this now, on this wilderness and stuff now. And the other thing, too, is, like, even though we now know that whatever is making that noise is frogs, the girls don't know unless Hannah is going to tell them.
But the frog thing I think is smart because they can, like, even just here in Florida, the frogs can really,
so
like,
loud.
Yeah, and it's, like, unnerving sometimes.
There's also so many things that make noises you wouldn't expect them to, like
the goats.
Well, goats, but also squirrels sound like birds.
But but the whole, like, screaming goats thing, that goes way back into history, that they think that there's all kinds of, like, urban legends and stuff. And it was like, no, it was just a goat was like,
yeah. Well, there's also, like, all the Appalachia stuff is, like, if you hear something in the woods, no, you didn't.
So we have had Hannah, Edwin, and
Cody.
Cody.
He's like Kodiak. But then they found something that said his name was like Eric or whatever, and she was like, he probably just bought it at a thrift store. Like, who cares? I am really, I guess, spoilers for Bodies. I'm really hoping we go a direction with him. He's not dead yet. So I'm really hoping we go a direction with him, like Lee Pace and Bodies, where, like, he's cosplaying kind of this, like...
I don't know. I mean, he was laying it on thick. I think I would prefer...
He was also pretty good with the crossbow.
Yeah,
so.
I think he knows what he's doing. I don't think that it's going to be a misdirect.
I don't know. I like my tall, handsome guys, like, faking it, kind of.
Do we think Edwin and Hannah were together?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She didn't seem upset at all. And she was throwing it at Cody.
Well, they were high. They did get high, but I think she is upset, but I think there's more pressing.
There's other trauma that's prioritizing.
Also, she didn't have to watch Lottie
brain.
Well, she did watch Lottie brain him, so Edwin is dead.
But, like, properly, like, there is brain.
No,
and Lottie spent a lot of time with it.
With her fingers in it. And then stroking it over her face, muttering...
What did Mari say?
Oh, because I texted it to Holly and Trevor. Go fuck your blood dirt, Lottie.
Mari is my favorite character. That was such a weird, like...
Well, okay, let's not get it twisted. Mari hasn't always been your favorite character because you really, really, really love Lottie. And now all of a sudden,
I feel like
she's fingering the guy's brains and it's too far.
There's egg on my face. No, they like... they were up there exploring, trying to find these frogs. They had never been.
It's like every 7 years
or 7 years.
17.
It was like cicadas, kind of.
Yeah.
And then they come out and have this like crazy frog orgy, and that's why it's so loud, and that's why it like sweeps over them. And they've apparently never been recorded, and so, and they are also part of like a team of people because they made comment that there should be supplies left from previous.
I think it's just if I had to guess, I didn't catch completely, but if I had to guess, it's like a grant society or something. Yeah. Where it's just like whoever's funding these like treks into the wilderness is like leaving supplies.
But that's seemingly what Coach Ben found. Yeah. And I guess it's still out there. That was something that I was more concerned about last week.
Yeah.
Where I was like, are we going to get these provisions back into play? And now, I mean, because I think we're going to go through another winter, correct?
We do, yes. Because it started out, when the show starts, that's their second winter. Yeah. Because they're already in the tents and stuff.
Okay.
I did appreciate that because like Van and Ty, so Lottie kills Edwin and then
immediately
so fast with the hatchet to the
they barely get, because he like sees Coach's head and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And Natalie was like, he was already dead.
Someone said natural causes. He died of natural causes.
And the like split between the girls is very apparent even to the outsiders, that some of them are like on board and some of them are
cuckoo bananas.
Yeah. And so Lottie just like brains him with a hatchet to the back of the head because they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Is that what she said? I
think this is part of Lottie's psychosis, where it's like, it's all well and good to be like making these, rituals and stuff around what they're doing, in order to like
find meaning.
Yes, like exactly. But now
you don't have to find meaning in things that are actually have meaning, like connection to civilization again.
Also, the thing is, and again, I said it last week, and I think it just keeps putting it in perspective, where like you can get on board and kind of like, it's not the weirdest, most upsetting thing in the world for multiple levels. Like we went really far with this being able to get explained back home. A bunch of us died. We were really scared. We were there for a winter. Jackie died of natural causes. We were out of food. We had to eat her. Javi died. You don't have to talk about the hunt, but it's like Javi fell through the ice. We were starving. We had to eat it.
But we're getting to a place where you can't explain it away.
But it's helpful for me because the whole time they've been like, nobody can ever know what we did out there. And I'm like, everyone already knows you ate your friend. Like, that's not like, so I've been waiting for like, what's the bridge too far? And it's like these three people who definitely didn't have to die. And now one of them's definitely dead. Almost every single person in our comments thinks that Hannah is the pit girl from episode 1. I am undecided.
She seems like I'm very curious to see where this is gonna go.
Yeah,
because she seems strangely game.
Yeah,
both her interacting with Cody, and then the way she was talking to the girls.
Yeah.
I don't know. She seems like, and we have that she had a teen pregnancy.
Yeah.
It was a girl that named Alex, and she was leaving a message for the child on the tape device. And so that is seemingly the girls know about, but they didn't know about it.
No, Shauna found out because so it seems they only listened to like 5 or 6 minutes of the original recording, and Shauna decided to push forward, and then she heard more from Hannah leaving a message for her child. And so they basically found the child because now Shauna is all in on the theory that this child is the one who is. We also did really. No, I'm very undecided because we did get really thrown in there the information that Melissa is dead.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. We don't know when, because we're doing a terrible job recapping this because I feel like we're not finishing any of our. But basically, after Lottie like brains Edwin, Joel McHale, Cody's like run.
Yeah.
And
they're together for a little while, but then they split off.
Well, they start like chasing them, and he turns around and he fires a crossbow, and it goes into Melissa.
Yeah.
And then when we're cutting back and forth between the 90s and the present day, after the crossbow shot, the bolt shot to Melissa, I think it was Christina Ricci.
Well, one of the adult girls we already know was like Melissa and Jen are both dead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but there's no saying if that's from the wilderness
or after
the fact. So that is one of the ways that the show.
I also did. I appreciated, and also it's like where I like Shauna's ruthlessness, because she like told Mari to stay and watch Melissa, and she goes, if she dies, you die. And I was like, all right, man.
Well, and they have that established like rival. But
also I think we buried the lead. Cody is Joel McHale. Did we?
I mentioned it once, but
we love Joel McHale.
So they basically chased around Edwin and Hannah. Cody and Hannah. Yeah. Cody was like, stick with me, kid. And she immediately bolted in the opposite direction. Yeah. I don't know why. She hid under a log until... How did she come back out?
Well, Van and Ty passed her by, and they found the campsite, but then Shauna and...
I do love the levels of commitment within the group.
Yeah.
Because Van and Ty are kind of like half on board.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what Travis and Akilah are attempting to do.
Yeah.
But, so they did collect Hannah and bring her back.
Yeah. I liked also that like Ty and Van found the camp, and they were going through all the stuff. Van let the frog go. Mm-hmm. She felt bad for the frog. She let it go out of the jar.
You think the wilderness noticed?
Well, she's still alive in the present day. And they found the sat phone, which had been broken during the researchers' high shenanigans.
It doesn't seem like it seems fixable.
Yeah, like the cord is like ripped basically, but I was like, one of you bitches has to have taken shop class. Mm-hmm. One of you varsity soccer players. I feel like you took shop class. Not to generalize. But they basically are, because like, and also Van's so cute. She's like, I'm gonna try my mom, and I was like, your mom is a drunk. She like is a hardcore alcoholic. I was like, call anyone else's mom, someone else's mom. But regardless, it obviously doesn't go through because it's broken. I still think, I don't remember now if they took it with them. I think they should have taken it with them. But she also is like, at least we've got supplies or whatever. And Van, I really appreciated that she was like, we don't need them though. We just need these people and we can get out of here. Like, we need to get out of here. So, because also it's like heartbreaking because we know they are going to go through another winter. So I'm like, ugh, that sucks, like, so bad. Because I think they get rescued in springtime. Because it's like it would have been like May when they disappeared. So basically, like, anytime after, or during or after this upcoming winter is when they're going to get rescued, I think. So
then in present day...
Well, Shauna wants to look for the kid, Hannah's kid. And Misty goes to see Van and Ty, and again, we did get confirmation in this episode that it has been other Ty for like a minute. We didn't find out how long, but like for a while. And Misty is accusing Ty of having been the one to kill Lottie because well, no, she didn't say it wasn't the DNA match, because then she gets the call from Walter while they're on the road to go find...
Well, Ty talked to Lottie.
That's
and didn't tell them.
That's
and
right.
didn't think it
mattered.
Was of any concern.
She claims that she went to talk to her to talk about Van, to talk about the wilderness and Van and her illness specifically. Then they basically are all going to find the Hannah's kid.
To Richmond, Virginia, so they're on a road trip.
A road trip for like a while. And then Shauna ends up paying for the gas and pumping it because none of them helped.
It was funny. I laughed a lot during the present day stuff.
Yeah.
And Christina Ricci, we said she's kind of been holding up this whole season. She was doing great.
Yeah.
But she gets the call in the van from Walter But I thought she gave the sample to one of her connections.
No, she got it from one of the connections. Then because Walter gave her back the garbage last week, Lottie's garbage. So as a good faith thing, so she basically was like, I can't make anything of this. Why don't you try? And so
they're saying
found it,
the DNA under Lottie's hands belongs to Shauna, which when it did eventually come out, but not before.
The three of them were texting.
Sloppily texting each other.
So sloppy.
And also kind of looking at each other. And at least one, if not two of the phones still had sound on. And finally Shauna was just sort of like, are you guys seriously just texting each other? Like, what is happening? But yeah, they accuse, or they bring it up to Shauna, and she's like, Lottie stayed at my house for like a day or two before. I'm sure my DNA was all over her. And
yeah, she was like, but it was in a place that you would get from a struggle. And she's like, oh, what, under her fingernails? And she also, Misty found a receipt that Shauna went through the Lincoln Tunnel. And I maintain that because then Van has like an episode and she's coughing up blood. So she stays. They find a hospital, and she and Ty and Misty stay at the hospital because Shauna goes out and just gets in the car and leaves them. Incredible.
I'm standing by my sociopath. Like,
I mean, totally possible. So she does eventually get to Alex's house, and she's just parked outside, and then she gets like a shopping bag out that has a knife in it that still has the price tag on it. And I was like, well, that's why she went to New York, I feel like, to buy that knife. Like a hunting knife.
Yeah, like a no-joke hunting knife, which, I mean...
If you're going to do the job, do the job.
Yeah, but that's so... No, it's so intimate.
Well, like, stabbing,
carving,
it's what
cutting.
She knows.
Yeah, I don't...
I'm just saying it's what she knows. So I think that she went into the city to get a knife because who's gonna remember you at a New York knife store as opposed to Wiscayak, New Jersey, or however you say it.
Probably one of the most interesting part was the frog watchers, the frog people. Yeah. But one of the more interesting parts about the episode was Jeff is bottoming out, but he seems to not realize he's bottoming out.
Yeah.
Like he's bottoming out in ways he can control, like criticizing the decor, the furnishings of the motel they're in.
That was so good, though. It was so good, and it was such smart writing, and it was so well character-based in Jeff because he runs a furniture business, and I had forgotten that those two asshats that they went to dinner with had bought the Jolly Hitcher and were, like, renovating it or whatever, and so he's like, you've got shitty furniture, Joel's, and then he thinks there's bed bugs because he's got, like, some sort of rash, and I was like, I think you just have hives because your wife is off the deep end.
Well, so finally Callie is like, he's like looking for imaginary bed bugs, and she's like, you're picking at your arm.
Yeah.
And so basically Callie proposes, which again, one of the more interesting, and this to me.
Well, because she listened to the whole recording because she had it on her phone, and then the way also that they presented how Shauna and Callie are so similar, the way they were Googling the same things to come to the same conclusion. So I think she listened to all of it and she heard what's going on, and her theory is like, what if mom is a bad person?
Well, she finally says the thing where she's like, what if this isn't just like coincidences and accidents and unfortunate stuff? Like, what if mom is causing this or like an active participant in all this?
Yeah.
And I liked that because it felt like the roots of that topic, of that theme, go back to the beginning of the show. So it did end with Shauna outside of Alex's house watching her. And like I said, some of the Yellowjackets brought Hannah to the camp. She basically was able to get through it because she was like, he shot your friend, right? Like, I know where there's medical supplies because she knows where the cache that Ben found is, because he put mostly everything back and covered it back up. He only took what he could, and then he covered the pit back up. So, and then Travis and Akilah have Cody cornered. He was like off the cliff. He actually like fell off, but they pulled him back up. Yeah, and
Akilah has the crossbow.
Yeah, we don't know where that's gonna go.
I assume they're gonna bring him back as well, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think it's going to go well. I think Hannah's going to try and play along, and I think he's going to not.
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like all of those girls would like to climb him like a tree. So
I'm curious. I'm actually very curious. Yeah. I mean, he's old to them. That's
true.
Coming from us.
That's true.
I don't know. I feel like even you, although you and me aren't a good example. I feel like 16-year-old you and me would have been like, I volunteer. Yeah. I'll take one for the team.
I've been into George Clooney my entire life. So yeah, we also, when Van was in the hospital, she started she had another like episode while she was in the hospital bed and they had to give her more oxygen and stuff. She had a vision of Ty, the bad Ty.
Dirtmouth Ty,
Callie.
Perched on the bed like the nightmare.
Who was like, I'm the one that needs to help you. Like, I'm here because I can help you. Like, you're not gonna die and all this stuff. And she was like, I need the other Ty. Like, I need the real Ty. And she also was like, I won't let them take your eyes. And I was like, shut up, Ty.
Also, who was the guy next to them?
Oh, I don't know. That does seem like it might come into play.
It was very loaded. I don't specifically remember the words he said, but it was like very active,
about the devil.
Aggressive. Yeah. I was like, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Things are happening. Like I said, I think this season was a little bit dragging in the beginning, but things are happening now. So.
I mean, I think a little bit, but I do think we kind of need those moments of stillness where we just like sort of see them existing. And it also, I think, helps to forget. It helps us forget how savage they can be when they are in, like I said, this whole spring and summer of abundance. That part is really interesting to me. Lottie was just blood all over her face, like just dragging the blood all over her face. And then the arrow didn't go all the way through Melissa, so they had to push it through the other side. That was pretty gnarly. But she was still alive, so Mari lives to see another day at this point. I'm just trying to see if there's like what else we've got, if that's everything. That is mostly everything.
What do we think is going on with Van? Because they were saying that it seemed like she was...
Well, so she still has like metastatic cancer. It's just not growing anymore.
Okay.
If I had to guess, something burst or just was like in a weird spot or something. So I don't think they said yet. So I'm sure we will find out. But it's just not progressing anymore. She still has terminal cancer. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, we'll be back next week.
Yep. Bye.